Motivation is a myth. That thing you believe you needed, you spend every waking moment desperately waiting for, is never gonna come. Instead, it would be best if you change the fundamental ways in which you see motivation. Once you understand the advice outlined in this video, there is no telling what you will be capable of in the future. What is up, YouTube? My name is Aidan Helfant. I am a freshman Cornell University student who makes videos on life advice as well as learning and fitness. Today, I'll be going over how to stop procrastinating and stay motivated to complete your goals. So many people struggle to get themselves to start on long-term projects or goals. Too often, the excuse is, oh, there's always tomorrow. Unfortunately, this terrible cycle continues until there is no tomorrow, and all we can do is sit down and actually get to work. This doesn't have to be for assignments or schoolwork, but for anything in life. Paying your taxes, learning a new skill, pursuing intellectual interests. It needs to stop. You have the power to make it do so. Motivation is a myth. If we want to end this vicious cycle, we must at first accept that motivation is a myth. Most people operate on the idea that they have to feel like doing something before they do it. In this system, life works like this. Motivation goes to action, goes to reward. The problem is that this is a childlike mindset. Children do what they want to at any given moment. Adults do what they know they need to, regardless of if they feel like it or not. In reality, we should see motivation like this. Action goes to reward, goes to motivation. In this system, it's the action itself instead of the motivation that spurs us forward. This works so well because we often don't feel motivated to do something until we do it. Studying, for instance, is not liked by most people in the world. However, it can be incredibly motivating when we start to get into the groove of a study session and feel like we're making genuine progress. This works the same way with other tasks. We can use this to our advantage by tricking ourselves into just starting a task. If you're struggling to do something, tell yourself you will do it for just 5 minutes. Funnily enough, once those 5 minutes are up, people often are motivated enough to keep going anyway. In this way, we are using discipline rather than motivation to get things done. Instead of relying on the momentary nature of motivation, we use something much more consistent. Parkinsons Law. Another thing that changed my life with procrastination is Parkinsons Law. Parkinsons Law states that work expands to fill the time we allocate to it. This is why long-term projects and goals are so hard to work on. Humans evolved to focus in the short term. This makes sense if you go back to our hunter-gatherer backgrounds, when we were being chased by saber-toothed tigers and struggling to find food. Thinking about anything past a week was never really an option. Unfortunately, this same philosophy has stayed with humans even after our struggles for food and water have mostly disappeared. To make Parkinson's Law work for us instead of against us, we should schedule artificial deadlines. Typically, we don't struggle to do work when the deadline is the next day. By scheduling artificial deadlines, we can make ourselves think we have to do something right away. We literally use our procrastination mindset to our advantage. Check out my video on how to use Google Calendar effectively to see how to do this. I can't describe to you the magical things that happened when I began to do this. It's like a spark ignited, and suddenly I had become a productivity machine. It can do the same for you. Your passion will reveal itself to you. Above all else, however, the secret to stop procrastination and staying motivated is to simply have fun. Do what brings you passion. It's not hard to motivate or do something that you genuinely like doing. I love writing and editing these YouTube videos. It's often one of the highlights of my day. Because of this, getting myself to sit down and write isn't a struggle. Instead of finding excuses not to write, I find reasons to write. You have to find what makes you passionate. The beginner mistake I see many people make is believing that they aren't passionate about anything. Thinking this way is the problem. You won't know what you find fun or what brings you passion until you do it. I had absolutely no idea I would like reading so much until I started to do it more consistently. This is where the balancing act of using discipline comes in. Discipline is incredibly helpful for getting yourself to do something you know you need to do. However, discipline alone will never lead to long-term happiness or success. You need to enjoy what you're doing to continue doing it. In my opinion, you should use discipline to find your passion. Explore different areas of interest. Start stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things you never tried before. It may seem terrible at first, but slowly you will figure out what you will find fun. Your passion will reveal itself to you. Once you find it, you won't have to rely on discipline anymore, because you will be having too much fun anyways. The battle must be fought anew every day. This is a concept brought about in Steven Pressfield's The War of Art. The artist's role is to start every single morning with the attitude that you are going to war. You are going to war with yourself. Every day, the forces of procrastination will beg you to stop and scroll through Instagram or TikTok. You might be able to even the odds using these tips and tricks, but the forces of procrastination will always be there. I still struggle with them every single day. The difference is now I have an army of my own and they have bazookas. The only question then is what are you going to bring in your army? Summary. We have gone through a lot in this video, and hopefully you have come out with a sense of clarity on how to stop procrastination and do what you know you need to do. Let's go over a quick summary to make everything stick. We need to realize that motivation is a myth. We should adopt the mentality that action leads to reward leads to motivation, instead of the other way around. One way to do this is to convince yourself to work on something for just 5 minutes. Working in this way uses discipline rather than motivation, which is much more consistent. We should also use Parkinsons Law to our advantage by scheduling artificial deadlines to get work done. Explore your interests and step out of your comfort zone. Doing this will allow you to find your passion. The secret to stopping procrastination and keeping motivation is to just love what you're doing. This way, you don't need motivation in the first place. Finally, we should realize that you need to fight the battle anew every single day. Even when we have fun, there will always be things we don't want to do. Every morning brings a battle that must be fought against ourselves. A battle that will determine if we make an impact in this life. If you want a more comprehensive view on how to use time blocking to get things done, check out my video on using Google Calendar effectively. In addition, you can also watch my videos on how to reduce distractions in college to get even better at stopping the resistance to getting things done. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and bye-bye.